beautiful fall color.
So, okay, that's the one that
flowers.
turns red. Okay, so Cord is holding up one tray of these, which, by the way, you can hang on the wall.
Yes.
With a couple of nails.
They're versatile.
And just grow it like that.
Absolutely.
Look like we've done back here. Can we see over Cord's shoulder? This can hang on your wall of your patio.
You're absolutely right,
or
Carolyn.
your garden shed, or your house by your front door.
You're not limited to a container. These are succulent. There's 17 varieties, the most ever we put together.
Yeah, so it's 4 species, but then we have 17 varieties encompassing these sets.
You're absolutely correct.
So this is while supplies last for under
While
$50.
supplies, yes.
This is the most Roberta's has ever brought us. It comes on, which we'll show you in a second, planted in dirt that's attached to a Coco fiber mat. So this is basically roll it out or set it down.
Yes.
And it doesn't even need to be planted or put in a pot to grow.
You don't have to prepare the soil, no.
You can set this right on top of your picnic table and it'll grow. You can set this on top of your deck railing. It'll grow. On a table, on the wall.
You know what Kevin loves to do. Look at the extra netting. That really holds it in place.
Yep.
But if you cut this, Carolyn, it will spread.
Yeah, just cut it with the scissors and put it in any kind of thing you want.
You can spread it apart, and this one mat will create a 25-foot border or a 40-square-foot mass planting. And I'm going to show you how to cut one later, Carolyn.
All right, I want the camera to come in if we can and just pan over this, because I want you to see close-up of how beautiful these are. These are going to, and by the way, we have only about 5,000 of these left to go around for the season, and these are super special. I know a lot of you are going to get more than one. These are going to give you blooms for several months.
Spring and summer, you'll have your flowers. Then you'll have beautiful color waves
it's evergreen
of
after that.
foliage in the fall,
so,
and non-fading greenery in the winter. 4 seasons of the year.
These never go totally dormant. They never turn brown.
Why do we love ground covers?
Because you don't have to grow grass.
No mowing.
And there's no weeds.
No weeding. No mulching. No spraying pesticides. And with this collection we put together for you, it's the best of the best. We put our most adorable artistic blend of 17 varieties of our favorite ground cover. Carolyn, if you wanted to, you could pick these up individually, but you'd have to buy ice plant separately, which actually sold out.
Yeah.
You'd have to buy the stone crop separately, the hens and chicks separately, and the cliff maid separately, but it's all in one. Let's show them how to plant them.
Okay, are we gonna move down here?
Yeah, we're gonna move to the table. I got it all set up right here.
All right, here we go.
I'll go on this side, sit right here.
Okay.
Now here we have the Coco fiber mat, Carolyn. Look, it's got the extra netting that helps it even stay more secure, but it's basically like a piece of sod. Look, I just planted it, but instead of thirsty grass, it's drought-tolerant succulent with a lot more interest. Now, if you want, you take a pair of garden shears and you just cut this up and place it wherever you want them. I love them in containers on my deck, spilling off the sides.
Right.
Or you cut them up in smaller pieces and you place them. This could be on top of last year's mulch. This could be on your poor rocky soil. It doesn't matter. A ground replacement, a grass replacement. And they will spread 25 feet linear or 40 square foot, and that's how you do it.
So over 1,000 of these ordered. We started the season, I believe, with like, Brian, about 12,000 of these? So we have, I know, less than 5,000 to go around, and they're very, very popular. 1,000 of that now ordered. This is something that gives you such a rainbow of color in the summer. And again, spilling down a rock garden, if you've got a terraced garden, if you want to put, you know, multi-level pots, hanging baskets, these can go.
Or just hang it like this.
Or hang it by itself.
I have 2 on my patio, and look, I just put up a couple of drywall screws or nails, and look how I hung it here. You hit this with the hose once a week or once every 2 weeks, and you're done.
And it'll start cascading down.
Oh, absolutely.
The other thing, which do we have pictures to show of, like, of it on a roof?
Yes, let's go through.
Can we look at those pictures?
Yes.
Because this is so outstanding.
Carolyn, you're not limited by a pot. Here we have it in a rusted old wheel.
Yeah. And we have, what do you see, in a wheelbarrow? And then we have it planted on the roof of a garden shed.
Yes, vertical gardening.
Instead of shingles.
Because it saves energy. Here's a bird bath. So you are not limited by a container. You just set it right on top of your picnic table. I have one on my table, just like those. And you have flowers spring and summer.
Yeah.
Look at the color in the fall. You have non-fading greenery in the winter.
Topiary.
You tuck them in your topiaries.
Yeah.
It couldn't be easier. And here it is. This is your rooftop
Look at it
garden.
on the roof.
Eric has these growing on his tiki bar in Indiana. Looks beautiful all year long.
How do I put them on a roof? I want to know how to do that.
All right, when you do it on the roof,
Okay.
I recommend taking it out
Take it out of the plastic flat.
But leave this matting here.
Leave the mat.
And just add a couple of little nails or screws, and this will hook right onto your roof. Because see the matting there?
Talk about a fairy tale cottage.
Absolutely, or even your little, they're pet and
I'm
critter
gonna put
friendly.
these
Sit
on
it
my
on your dog house.
on my goose house.
On your goose house, I would recommend that.
I have one of those little doll houses for my geese to live in. It looks like my big house. How cute would that be?
I can't wait to see the photos next year of those, Carol.
Oh my gosh. And again, very low maintenance. All you do is give them some water to start. You don't have to like constantly fertilize these or anything, right?
No, that's why there's no feeding, no mowing, no weeding, no pesticides. It really respects your time and your wallet. You plant these anywhere you want them, full sun to part shade. You're gonna have flowers spring and summer. What you're looking at on the table is like the springtime look.
And how many sets is this?
This is 9 sets on the
Okay,
table.
all right.
But I want to tell you, when you cut these and place them, if you do that, cut them into 4-inch pieces like I showed you and place them every 18
Okay.
to 20 inches,
All right.
you get twice as much coverage as what I'm showing on this table from one flat.
Right, so you don't have to keep them in the flat and put them side by side.
No.
They will expand and spread. They are a ground cover.
Yes.
So they're gonna, each of these squares that you're buying is gonna grow 25 times its size.
Yes.
So
If you cut and plant.
yeah, if you cut them up and when you plant them, you're gonna plant them like about a foot apart.
Yeah, 18 to 20 inches
Okay,
to
so
get maximum coverage.
Foot and a half apart.
Yeah.
So calculate how much ground you want to cover with these. These will grow in sun or shade. If you have an area where grass won't grow, plant them maybe between those thick tree trunk roots that
Between
you
your
can't plant
pavers,
anything.
because they will take light traffic.
Borders.
And if any little pieces just happen to fall off, great. They're going to root wherever. These plants grow strong in any soil. You don't have to prep the soil. Again, to just lay them on there. If you want to go back here and show them how
Gorgeous.
easy it was to plant.
1,500 of these ordered now. I got 3 myself. I can't wait to find all the nooks and crannies to place these. And again, if you have a place that's difficult to grow stuff, especially even grass, plant these instead because they will grow where your grass won't, along the driveway where the asphalt gets really hot and everything along the border looks dead.
Oh.
In the shade where grass won't grow.
I'm going to just plant it, Carolyn. Look.
I mean, and to plant it, you
Look.
cut it to the size you want and just
drop
place it on the soil.
This could be on slopes.
This is now planted.
It's now planted.
You did not have to dig a hole. Now,
No, you did not.
I would loosen the soil under it.
You could loosen the soil under it if it's really, really hard, but these roots, that's the beautiful thing about these roots just grow strong anywhere you want to put them. And you cut them in smaller pieces to get maximum coverage. Or what I did, I know you picked up 3, I have 2 hanging vertically like you see here on my deck. I have 1, this is my living art piece, centerpiece on my picnic table on my deck.
Right.
And then I bought another one that I cut up and put in Susan's deck planters.
Oh, wow.
It's
How
beautiful, and they
pretty.
just spill over.
But can we, again, I want to show a close-up again. Look at the magic here. If you're interested in creating interest, flowers, different color of green, different color of
Fall
foliage,
color,
big flowers, little
non-fading
flowers.
greenery.
Look how pretty that is. You just want to
come
jump
in
right
close.
into that.
You can see the different shapes of the leaves. It looks like a little avatar garden. You plant them like a piece of sod, but they're not thirsty like sod. And these things have a lot of interest and color. Look, here's some of the stone crops. We have some of the ice plants blooming here.
The ice plants are these bigger flowers.
You have the hens and chicks right here.
And those, you know,
And
they
then-
spread out and attach to
Yeah,
each other.
and then we have the cliff maids in here too.
Uh-huh.
So 17 varieties, Carolyn.
17, that's
17,
the
the
most
most ever.
Because these guys are famous for their ground cover plants. In fact, your today's special value ground cover was not the same as this. In fact, I got several sets of that as well.
It was the ice plant, which is in here.
Which is gone now.
Which is gone
But
now.
this is different. So mix and match those with these. But there are 17 varieties here of 4 different types of ground cover.
Yeah.
Cliff maids, ice plant, hens and chicks, and I always forget the other one.
Ice plant, hens and chicks, stonecrop.
Stonecrop,
The
thank you.
beautiful stonecrop.
I know, and that's the one that turns red and stuff.
Beautiful colors and flowers.
Right,
Now
yeah.
I want to tell you that we are the only ones in the world, other places will do the cocoa fiber mats, but no one, Carolyn, to my knowledge, and I've scoured the internet looking, does 17 varieties of 4 different ground covers. We do these by hand in Waldron, Indiana. They're made with the cocoa fiber netting.
And they are hardy to -15.
Yes.
So they're not going to die.
That's from San Diego up to Chicago or Florida
Minneapolis.
up to Boston.
If you have these, or from last year, some of the Roberta's ground cover growing in your yard, go dig out the snow and look how green they are right now underneath.
If there's snow
they
there.
They are alive under the snow, just waiting for the snow to melt. These are amazing, and you're going to have months and months of flowers. Then they'll turn into fall colors, greens, and then they'll be green all winter until they start making flowers again.
I love the vertical gardening, and
look at that. That's a wall of living flowers, a wall of flowers. And all you have to do is hang these cocoa mats up.
Yeah, they're so easy. I leave them in the tray. You order several sets, you'll have no regrets. Hang them up, cut them up, lay them flat. I would love to put them in topiaries. I'd love to have a whole lawn replacement with this. Put them on your rooftops.
I'm putting them on my roof of my goose house. How pretty is that? Look how gorgeous. Vertical gardening, rooftop gardening. It can be on in pots on a small balcony or in a fabulous garden. You can grow these all over the ground. Just do what you put them in like an old wheelbarrow or a wagon.
Repurpose all these kind of items.
Or
and look,
or
that's an old wheel.
If your fountain's leaking and it doesn't work anymore, put these in it.
Absolutely, you can't grow wrong with these.
Okay, thank you so much. Stay on the lines for these. They are while supplies last. They are dwindling in quantity. If you want them, please stay on the lines because when they're gone, they're gone. The totem poles. Sorry, my brain's not working.
It's okay.
Has completely sold out. And then you have a lot of ways we can get a hold of you guys, right?
We do. You can get us on QVC.com. You can reach us on Twitter and all the different ways that I don't know how to use.
Wow, I love
pick
you
up
guys.
the phone. We have a phone number too on all our
These
growing
guys are great, and you can always find out a lot about them on my Facebook page too, because we're all good pals from Indiana.
Great pals.
So, when is your next hour?
We are going to be